I've been making bread for nearly 30 years, and I have struggled to buy organic wheat so I'd have the best quality, but due to hybridization and all the changes in wheat, you're really not getting true wheat. And so I was looking at the Weston A. Price Foundation and discovered this ancient grain called einkorn. That's E-I-N-K-O-R-N. And I read that it was not easy to make a loaf of bread. And so I've been working using my past experience to create a great loaf. Let me show you how it works. I pre-grind my kernels of wheat. We have here 5 cups of einkorn flour. I'm going to mix in 1 tablespoon of organic sugar, 1 teaspoon of sea salt. And I'm only going to use 1/2 teaspoon of yeast. I'm just going to mix it in, and then mix it in good. 3/4 of a cup of milk. In this little mixture here, I have in this mixture 1 tablespoon of butter, 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and 1.5 tablespoons of honey. And that is the mixture. And just as it just gets warm enough to melt, that's all I want to do. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon lemon juice, and then I'm going to add 1/2 cup of water. Then I'm going to pour that into the bowl. And einkorn is a little difficult to work with because it's so sticky, but it makes a great loaf of bread. So I'm going to pour my flour mixture in here. You can actually knead this in a lot of different ways. You can knead the bread by hand. It's very sticky. You can knead it in a bread machine for 10 minutes, which I generally do. So as you can see, it's rather sticky. That's why sometimes I use the bread machine and let it go for, like I said, 10 minutes. Or you can use another bread mixer. But you really don't want to over knead it right now. Now I'm going to just let it rest. Come back in about 4 or 5 hours and bake it. Take a piece of plastic wrap, which helps seal in the moisture. And then put a plate over the top of that so it keeps it away from the light. And then just set it aside. There are some variations that you can make in this recipe. You can take 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, and somewhere between 1 2/3 and 1 3/4 cups of water, and you can knead that in very quickly and then let it set for about 19 hours. Now my family likes the bread that I've created using the honey and various things. Another thing that I've done is reduce the sugar completely, add 2 tablespoons of water, and at the same time add some currants, 1/2 cup, and 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts, and it makes a great loaf of bread. At this time I'm going to preheat the oven to 450 degrees, and I'm going to leave my Le Creuset, which makes incredible bread, in the oven for 30 minutes. So we'll start timing now. And while the pan is preheating, I'm going to roll out my dough. Get all the dough out of the bowl. And then what you want to do is just work a little bit of flour into this. That's all I'm going to do is fold it in, fold a little flour into it. Probably end up folding in about 1/4 cup. It only takes about 2 or 3 minutes to get it folded in. While the pan is getting hot, in 30 minutes, I'll be ready to put the bread into the oven. And let it rest for 30 minutes. Cut a line across the top just very lightly. I'm going to do three lines. Very slight. Take out a very hot pan that has been in the oven for 30 minutes at 450 degrees. And again, this is a Le Creuset. Put my parchment paper bread in the pan. I like to drop it in as it's hot. Center it. Make sure you're centering everything. Put your lid back on. Put in the oven, and I'm going to reset the dial for 400. I'm going to bake it at 400 degrees, covered for 40 minutes. Wait till you see it. Okay, we are ready to take the bread out of the oven. It's been cooking for 40 minutes. There we have a wonderful artisan loaf of einkorn bread, delicious flavor, baked for 40 minutes at 400 degrees after preheating the pan at 450 for 30 minutes. We let it rise for 5 hours. It's going to be delicious with some raw butter. Can't wait until you try this. In my study over these many years of the scriptures, I particularly love the book of Ruth. The book of Ruth is a wonderful love story. And one of the things that stands out to me is what she was gleaning in the fields of Boaz. Boaz was protecting her among the workers who worked in the various fields. And it says that she sat down and she ate some parched grain. Can you imagine going to your friend's home and bring a loaf of this beautiful bread? Sit down and break bread with them. And when they bite into it and taste the incredible flavors, and then you can tell them they're eating from the ancient grain that Ruth ate from in the fields of Boaz.